because for me as the CEO, my first thing is anticipation. You know, what can I anticipate? All that can happen moving forward. So I have a plan. So whenever an obstacle comes, I can pivot right away. I'm not stuck at that moment. Even if it's not the best thing that I could do, it's a move forward or a move out of the way. So, so basically, what was I saying? What was the question?
It really wasn't a question. We was just talking about, the creativity and everything that came into that and why it actually became an app. But
yeah,
I do want to touch bases on, since we are talking about apps and the tech thing, because you kind of explained a little bit about, you were trying to do something different and you want to be, futuristic, and you want it to be, ahead of kind of the pack. So with this app, because I think that is like so, wonderful, and how you guys even came up with that. It seems like apps is gonna be like the next genre of things. And with everybody, like I said, everybody having their own little TV show and everything that they got going on, apps is what's in now. You look at your Fire Stick, you look at everything. So I know you're not a techie person, but how did you get involved with that? And how do other people, I would say, get involved with creating their own app, I would say?
Yeah. Well, really, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. It just requires determination. And because it's just like Googling app companies to make an app, or Googling how do I start my own app. Mm-hmm. So the information is literally documented on the steps to take. It's when you start taking those steps, when you start having to make the decision between the app companies and between the developers, and trusting people to bring on your team, and spending money. Like, those are so many hurdles that'll have people to stop. And even thinking about those hurdles causes people not even to start. So it's really, I would say, the information is out there. I can share a little bit about my process, but that's really what I went through. Like, we went through one developer. First of all, I started studying, and after about 2 months of studying and researching, then I started taking meetings with app developers. And most of them were offshore because they were more affordable.
Okay.
And just kind of learning. And what I did was, what helped me is one of the first developers companies that I had a meeting with, I had to write out a flow of my app. Like, it's not just about writing out a paragraph of my app does this. Right. It's about saying, when I open the first, it's saying, okay, what do you want the app to do? What is the pain point it's solving? How does it make money, right? And then, or how does it grow? Then, for me, what I did is I wrote out the flow of the app, going from like screen 1 to screen 2. What happens when this person does this? Like, that whole thing. Wow. So I've had that written out, and then they came back and gave me like a text version of that, and put it in a chart and added stuff and explained stuff. They had a flow thing going on. And so that helped me, and I used what they gave me as my new blueprint.
Wow.
And as I took more meetings, so that was helpful. We still ended up, getting with it was a friend of a friend that was recommended, and they had built some other apps. And so I was like, okay, cool, the apps look good. And what happened was, the person that we were working with owned the company, and he was not tech savvy himself. So he ended up losing his technical lead engineer. So our app was kind of stuck, but he wasn't telling us. Okay. He was just like leading us on for a while. And so I was feeling it for a minute. I'm like, something's not right. I don't feel the progress. And we're just being patient. We're just being patient. And then I want to say like it was 10 or 11 months later, I was like, okay, no, where's the app? What's going on? Da, da, da. and there wasn't anything. So that was a huge thing. And then immediately, I guess we licked our wounds for like maybe a few days, and then we came up with a plan to move forward, and we found a really great company in New York, and they built the app for us. And not until about a couple of weeks ago did we bring our team in-house. So we're no longer working with that agency. We have an in-house team right now.
Wow. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of trial and error. But you did the research and the studying, which a lot of people don't do. But that sounds very time consuming and a lot of work. But when you want it perfect, I guess you gotta go that extra mile when you're I guess not that tech
when you're not
savvy.
When you're not tech savvy, you absolutely have to. And I also was able to prioritize it. I was also able to do it full time for, a year and a half.
Wow. That's how long it took to kind of get this up and going.
Yep. It took almost 2 years.
Okay. All right. So
almost 2 years.
I mean, I'm not going to say it, that sounds easy because it doesn't. But it really doesn't. It seemed like it's a whole lot, and how you explained how you mapped out your flow, and then they came back with the technical side, and then you had to take that to another company and keep boosting it. Seemed like a lot of work, but it seems like more blacks should probably get into something like that, because your app sounds like a great idea. How is it when it comes to marketing and everything? Is that just now that the app is ready to go, is that an obstacle? How's that going?
Yeah, I won't say it's an obstacle. We're coming over the hill right now, because I think when we first launched it and we first launched the equity campaign, we didn't really know what the go-to-market. We had a high-level go-to-market strategy. And we needed a very detailed, specific go-to-market strategy. And that's what we've learned, I would say, in these last 3 months. And so really what it comes down to with marketing, for us, I would say the go-to-market strategy is building a two-sided platform. So you have to build both sides for the other to be there. So fortunately, since we're already in the business, we could run our own personal projects through the app. Mm-hmm. And that was super helpful, because it allowed me to consistently test the app for bugs or for things that, might not be working.